All right, I am on time. And, well, all right, hold on a second. Almost everything's ready, but that's okay. We need some people to arrive. So we actually have some time to pass while we await people to actually show up because, there's nobody here, there's nobody to vote. Our purpose today is to determine what the worst build in Master Magic for Windows is. And, actually, we've already spent quite a bit of time on this, but there has been no consensus whatsoever. So, we're going to try to narrow it down a lot. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I guess while we wait for people to show up, I might as well take this time to go over some of what's happened to bring us all here. So, a long, long, long time ago, I made the worst wizard ever in Master Magic. It was a build that had come actually from Realms Beyond, and pretty much everyone looked at it and agreed, yes, that's the worst build you could have. Like it was bad. It was really bad. It was death, clacons on the Mirren plane with just even the portrait you pick was Callie because she would have been the easiest of opponents. Hey, Wings, this is the tournament. I announced it. Hey there, Thresh. You're a new fan. Yep. No, we're gonna be voting. So I'm while we wait for people to show up for the vote, I'm just summarizing the ins and outs of what happened. Anyway, it's been a long time. Cerevi has overhauled the game dramatically. It is not the game. I mean, it is the game it was, but it's not the game it was back then. It has been monumentally rebalanced. And I thought, why don't we do the worst wizard ever again? Immediately I ran into a problem. The first wall was, oh my gosh, there are so many options now for how you could set the world up. And I decided, as much as I do want to do one where we do the maximum land size and maximum number of opponents, it's way too much instability, like chaos. Like I think that would be cool, but to let people pick whatever the world is like. So I decided this isn't the worst death world ever or anything like that. We'll just standardize it down to 4 opponents, everything else normal. And I thought this shouldn't be too hard. We should be able to come to some kind of consensus as to what the worst build would be. You know, 4 opponents, medium world. Nobody agrees on anything. I got almost everyone gave their own idea. Ah, it's crazy. So, I have gathered into general terms the 5 builds. More or less, these are what they are in the tournament brackets in front of you. Hey there, Twinfold. Ah, new YouTube. Okay, yeah. Okay, anyway. So, to summarize what these builds are in simplest terms, few spellbooks mean you pile on as many retorts as possible, which is limited to 4 in Caster Magic for Windows. You can't go more than 4. It's going to take a bit of fun, and these are not fine-tuned. Once we've picked one of these 5 things, then we're going to hopefully that's close enough that we can come to a consensus on what the worst few spellbooks builder build is, or what the worst mono blue aggro build would be, because it includes everything like race, which spells you pick, the exact retorts that you choose. Is it Clacon, Mirren, Cult Leader, or maybe it's, the fine tuning comes later. These are just generally what is the worst. So, few spellbooks means pile on as many retorts as possible. You're going to end up with about 5 spellbooks left over. Maybe 4, maybe 6, okay. But it's going to be around 5 spellbooks is what you're going to have. And, well, aggro or builder? Oh, shit, I need to explain that. Aggro is gnolls, clackons, just anything that attacks. Lizardmen, anything that can't build a lot of buildings, that has an aggressive early game. And builder is orcs, highmen, elves, anything that can build a lot of buildings falls under builder. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Hey, the Thresh, yeah, Wings' sprites are awesome. I really like his Dragon Turtle. His Dragon Turtle is really good. Such a good Dragon Turtle. Let's see. Yeah, 50 minutes? Oh, that's terrible. I really hope more people show up. I don't want to do the vote when nobody's here and then have, like, 20 people come into the comments like, oh, man, I would have voted for this other thing. Oh, wow, you're just coming from work just to go right back to work, and on a Sunday, no less. Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I just got off work, got off bonus extra work, and had to set all this up as quick as I could. Well, I mean, there's only 6 people here. What should we do for a few minutes while we wait? I don't know, we could just spitball some different ideas. You know what? Wings, you're gonna leave early. Tell you what, give me your preferred picks across the board. I'll write them down and make sure. Just pick which one you think is gonna win. It doesn't matter. Just pick the one. It's single round elimination, so it's only gonna be one victory. Put your finger on what you think is the worst build, and I'll give it +1 vote every time it comes up when you're not here. How about that? Oh, okay, you're not leaving right away? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, well, never mind. Alchemy were banned altogether. Well, nobody's going to pick alchemy as a retort in any of these. There's no way. It's too universal. The whole idea is we're going to pick retorts that have no synergy with what you're doing. It'll be like, well, for example, the obvious pick is Mirren and then an Arcanus race. You spent the points to go to Mirren, and then you played as Clackons? There's an argument that being on Mirren could theoretically still be an advantage if you spawn next to like a dark elven city and conquer it real early or something, like maybe. But the Clackons, oh my gosh, you've got like -4 unrest or +4 unrest to those elves, like, ooh, like that kind of thing. Or sticking to Clackons, Cult Leader is really bad for Clackons because Clackons, all they can make is a shrine. Cult Leader gives you all these bonuses for the Parthenon, the Cathedral, the Temple. You can't build any of those things. You can't have them. So it's like you literally don't have the buildings that make Cult Leader good. Like that's what I mean about we're going to be picking things that have bad synergy. But as I said at the beginning, because there is no consensus on what direction we can go, every person just submits a wildly different build. It's like, so we're trying to narrow it into a direction. We're basically picking a direction from these 5. Yeah. No, this is not a normal streaming time for me. Today's special. Mm. Clack-ons, huh? I mean, they're a fair pick. Clack-ons have it rough. On the one hand, they get 50% more production than anybody else, and if you're playing Clack-on, then I believe Clack-ons have the least rebels of anybody. So you can run the highest tax rates, have the highest production, and your units get 2 extra defense, meaning they're pretty good. But basically, your swordmen will beat almost anybody else's swordsmen. I say almost, okay? There's a couple of guys out there that can give them trouble, but for the most part, their units are just really good. But then you start running into the problems with playing as bug people. Everybody hates being ruled by bug people. Anything you conquer hates you and has just filled with rebels everywhere you go, forever. This is not good when there's 4 opponents on a normal world, but on a world with 13 opponents in maximum size, this would be absolutely crippling after a while. But even on a regular sized world, that's bad. They get no ranged units. There's literally nothing the Clack-ons have that can shoot. And I'm all about the archers and the shaman. they just they don't they don't get temples of any. All they get is a shrine. Everything else is just missing. Their tech tree is missing, like gigantic critical chunks that relate to research and magic and all that kind of stuff. It's just not there. They just don't have it. So they have all this great production, and what are you going to produce? You're going to produce halberds. Until you somehow manage to get enough research to research Tree of Knowledge. Then you can make beetles. That's your game. That's it. That's your Clack-ons. That's your game. It's rough. It's really rough. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely some very strong points. With the proper retorts and spells, Clack-ons can really work, and work well. But we're not going to give them any of those things. But yeah, there's other bad races out there that you can stack things that make them not good as well. They're not the only contenders, but they're definitely a strong contender. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Clack-ons Clack-ons make the cut. Hey there, Dravard! You haven't been able to install Warlords? Oh no. Uh, well, if Sup drops by, you can ask him. He's made it. At my if you pop into my Discord, you can contact him anytime. Chaos, sorcery, death all seem equally bad. I don't know. I don't know. Death has a lot going for it. And death actually fixes one of the Clack-on, well, it doesn't fix, but it helps alleviate one of the Clack-on's biggest problems. One of the Clack-on's biggest problems is that unrest with things they conquer, and death gives you unlimited skeletons with no upkeep. Basically, 8 skeletons completely offsets the Clack-on's racial penalty. So, I mean, it's still not great, but I don't know. I think death Clack-ons isn't the best direction. Giving Clack-on sorcery really screws them over because they have nothing that works with sorcery. Like, they just, okay, I want to cast focus magic. There is nothing you can focus magic. There's just nothing there. All right, I guess I want to cast the spell that gives me more power for having the amplifier towers. You don't have amplifier towers. I don't even know if they. I think they have an alchemist guild. They can still do an alchemist guild. I don't remember the exact list of buildings, but I just know sorcery calls for things they don't have. Chaos, at least you get Flame Blade. And when all you have early game is halberds, Flame Blade is actually it's okay. It's not it's okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's only one spell, and you have to actually get the spell, which is an issue. You might not be able to get your hands on the spell you want, if depending on how many books you have. But at least Chaos has one very useful spell, whereas Sorcery. I mean, Phantom Warriors are always good, you know. I mean, you're kind of struggling. Kind of struggling. Yeah. Oh yeah, the sun is super bright. It's there. The snow isn't going to last another couple of days. It's just a handful of piles left at this point. It's actually surprisingly warm. Oh no, did I forget to take my work hat off? Oops. So, which are builders, which are aggro? You know what? I'm just going to make a full list real quick, and then we'll start voting. I think we have enough people. It's never going to be everyone, but we got enough people. We'll try it. I think that Chaos Life Clacons are actually good, and Nature Life Clacons can be good. Actually, Chaos Life Nature mix might be the best for them. Life might not even be necessary. It might actually Chaos Nature would be pretty good on Clacons. Um, as I said, Death Clacons aren't terrible either. But not my first pick when I'm playing Death. Honestly, I think the best Death race is Halflings. But that's because I like to play Death as a Conjurer. Alright, let me go ahead and give you the full list. Here, let me make sure I don't forget anybody. Let me pull up a list real quick. Master of Magic. Okay, here we go. Just to make sure I don't miss anybody. So it falls into three categories. The first category is... Okay, here we go. The first category is Halflings. Halflings, you don't get Halflings. No Halflings. I'm sorry, there's no build where they're the worst. It won't happen. Same with all the Mirren races. Just set them aside. They're never going to be the worst. They're not. Okay, so aggro races, full list. It should be Barbarians. Let's see. Gnolls. Okay. Clacons. I love my lizardmen. It's even possible to argue that lizardmen could be the worst, but you're never going to convince anyone that halflings are. Alright. I mean, halflings have their disadvantages, but it's just no. Alright. Builder! The research bonus just puts them over the top now. Alright. Builders, you've got High Elves, High Men, Nomads, Orcs. And I really don't think anything else is a contender here. That's basically what it's going to come down to. And as I said, we will fine-tune exactly which race, which retorts, which spells later. Alright, let's just get started with the vote. Say, uh-oh, something went wrong. Okay, hold on. Several things are out of whack suddenly. What the fork is this? Go away, you piece of crap. Okay, there you go. It's just important we keep this at the top because these are the settings for the game. Okay? Wait, no, hold on. Damn it. One moment, I seem to have gone too far. I had everything set up perfectly until a pop-up ruined it. Pop-ups ruin everything. Can I? Okay, got it. Everything's aligned properly once more. Cool. All right, so we're going to begin a vote. Do you think having a lot of retorts and very few spell books, this could be anything. This could be one of every spell book. This could be 4 black books, 4 chaos books, 4 sorcery books, whatever. Like, it's going to be 4, 5, or 6 spell books and a pile of retorts. Exact details may vary. Do you think that's worse for a builder or an aggro? Remembering that we're a normal-sized world, which isn't that big, with 4 opponents. Anything that falls into those categories, is it better to be builder or aggro? Or is it worse? Remember, we're trying to build the worst wizard. So, you're voting for which is the bad. The worst retort combo you can find is Channeler, Artificer, Mirren, Spellreaver? Cheaper non-land, non-summoning spells, yeah. Those are all retorts that came up a lot in the discussions. All of those came up very often. And yes, retorts are generally better than books, but if you stack enough retorts that aren't working very well for you, you can end up crimping the amount of spells you have dramatically. Okay, we got 2 that say builder. 1 for aggro. Hello there, Sammy. How's it going? Actually, I think Wings was said builder as well. He just didn't write the word builder by itself to make the vote easier to keep track of. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not entirely sure what way Twinful... Okay, well, he already voted. That's why. Okay. 1, 2, 3. How many people are here? 12. I think we're. I think the builders have it. I don't think aggro's gonna vote its way out with 1 to 5. All right, we're gonna move on to the next category. Mono blue aggro or red black builder. Also, let me make sure I write. Few spells builder. Okay, there we go. No, Clackons are aggro. Clackons are absolutely aggro. They do not have a late game play. They're not building wizard towers and fantastic stables. Their building list is super crumpled down and small. So Clackons are aggro. Yeah, I made a list up there. I made a list. And I just wrote no halflings. Halflings don't fit anywhere in this. Okay. So yeah, mono blue aggro or red black builder. Go. Mono blue aggro, 1 vote. All right, 2 aggro, one builder. Red black's an interesting combination. On the one hand, it I when I went into that 2 color combo, because I did all the 2 color combos a while ago, I was expecting it to have too much overlap, but weirdly, it actually had a lot of little synergies in it. It wasn't great. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like it was an ultimate powerhouse, but it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be when I actually played it. And the combos are in unexpected places. Like Black has a bunch of stuff that are like Black Sleep or Possession, which needs you to save or die. And then Chaos has this spell where they can randomly set your resistance to 0. But then Chaos has spells that like the enemy to have low resistance, like Disintegrate. And Black Prayer made everything easier to disintegrate. It was interesting. As I said, not what I'd consider top tier. Um, it actually ended up being, I think, on level with Red Green, which was really surprising to me because I had expected Red Green to be top tier and it wasn't. All right, let's see what we got here. Blue, blue, red, black. Lots of retorts and 6. Well, that's just under few spell books. That's already covered under few spell books. So that's, yeah, we already decided few spell books builder. Blue, blue. Okay, it's blue. All right, so we're going to move mono blue aggro to the finals. All right. So let's see. So few spellbook builder is now versus red blue builder. So few spellbooks versus many. Now I did a lot of combinations of 6/6 for all the different 2 color combos, and red blue came out the worst. It was the worst 2 color combo. One spell has been added to the game specifically to make this combo better since then. Though I'm not entirely sure how much it does for it because I haven't tested since. Um, but yeah, versus have very few spell books and be a builder. Let's see what we get. If the women don't find you handsome, at least they'll find you handy. Ah, what a great show. Yes, yes, lots of books. Lots of books. It'll probably have at least 10 if not 12 books. The exact retorts may vary again. It may or may not have Mirren and other things, but you can assume that it's probably going to be sporting at least 10 spell books, whereas this one is going to be sporting 4 to 6, so you can say 5. Probably 5, and you can assume this is probably 10. It could be anywhere up to 12 or, whatever. Yeah. That's fine. Just vote with your gut. Just go with your gut. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Aggro is going to get worse the larger the world is. And eventually, someday, I'm going to do a really big world. And I think everyone will agree when it's a really big world with like 13 opponents. Like, okay, yeah, it's probably going to end up being probably few spell books aggro or something. I don't know. I shouldn't make calls. Maybe I'll be in the minority on that, but yeah. Okay, let's see. So red, blue, red, blue. 1 minute left for you. Are you leaving? Did I miss something? That's a movie. I've seen that movie. No, Clackons are aggro. Clackons are 100% aggro. Clackons are. I made up the categories, okay? Clackons can't build for shit. They have all this production, and they're not allowed to build anything with it. They do not get the late game buildings. They're just not there. There is no fantastic stable. There is no wizard tower. Like all of the big spectacular buildings that a builder race spends a lot of time building up to, they don't exist. Instead, the Clackons get massive production bonuses to pump out troops, and all of their troops have 2 extra defense. Their swordsmen kill everybody else's swordsmen, almost everyone else's swordsmen in the game, lose to a Clackon swordsman. They are absolutely an early game aggro race. And you put their Stag Beetle against anybody else's end game unit, and the Stag Beetle loses to everything because they don't have an end game plan. There's no late game plan for a Clackon. Their plan is they've conquered enough shit that it's too late to stop them, and they keep spreading. That's the Clackon's plan. So I absolutely view them as arguably they're on level with the Gnolls as the most aggressive race. The Lizardmen are also aggro, but I think the Clackons are more aggressive than the Lizardmen. And the Barbarians are a little bit weird. The Barbarians are they're a little odd. They can build a little bit more, but they're still I still put them as an aggro, but they're kind of in the middle. Anyway, so let me see. I think I saw, what was it, 2, 3? Give me a second. Okay, red, blue, red, blue. Few, few, few. Wait, no, that's twin fold again. Okay, 2 fews, 2. Okay. I think it's tied. I think it's tied right now, 2-2. Catch you later, Drowbard. I do not believe that Stag Beetles beat Griffins or Wyverns. But Dragon Turtle is basically the same thing a Stag Beetle is, but it can swim. Because Dragon Turtles come from Lizardmen, which is another aggro one. Yeah, Griffins and Wyverns, I'm not sure about, but they can fly. And the fact that they can move, I think Wyverns, what do they move, like 5 tiles or something? Like they're insanely useful for their mobility, which the Stag Beetles don't have. As I said, I won't swear to the matchup, but I think the Griffins and Wyverns are better than the Stag Beetle. I think we've got a tie on this one. That's not good. Until one of the two get to the final round, we can't get a conclusion. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Lizardmen, but it's actually not. There's 2 things the Lizardmen do that I like. Just 2 things. They have the fastest population growth in Arcanus, which I'm a huge fan of. And they have javelins, which is just a really good unit. It's just a it's kind of just a middling archer that's also good at melee, but since it's lizardmen, it can also swim. And it's just a solid unit to work from. Coupled with the fast growth rate and the ability, the probably the most important thing the lizardmen can do is they have settlers that move quickly over water. So you're able to spread over water before anyone else can. And that's just it just really if I want to play aggro, I want to be able to expand quickly. And to me, neither lizardmen nor gnolls have anything that helps them expand unless they can do so through conquest, which is a really it's RNG dependent. I view Clackons and gnolls as being RNG dependent. You might start next to a couple of really great neutral cities you can conquer right away, or you might start next to a barbarian city filled with crap that'll kick your ass. And then you can't conquer them. Especially if you're dropped into the Mirren plane. Oh man, you could have draconians. If you're the Clackons and you spawn next to a draconian city, there is nothing you can do. Nothing. You don't have a single ranged unit to your name. It's terrible. So yeah, lizardmen don't have that issue. They've got shaman. They've got everything you could want. What are we voting between? We're voting between few spellbooks builder and red black builder. So we are right here, and the victory from the first round was few spellbooks. So few spellbooks versus blue-red. Either way, it's a builder. Yeah. Either way, it's a builder. We got a vote from Drowbard. We got a vote from Twinfold. We've got a vote from Sam. Hold on, did I miss somebody? Let me try this again. One, two, red, blue. One, two, few spell books. Oh, that's it. That's it. That's all we got. Yeah, that's it. Two votes each way. Hello there, Norrell. You're a new name. Oh, wait, there we go. Did Thresh just add one? Ah, okay, there we go. I think that gave the tie break. Hey, DC Fuel, they're both builder. I think we're going with few spell books. All right. All right. We're moving on now. Few spell books versus mono blue aggro. All right, this is the final round. All right, there you go. Start the voting. And then we'll fine tune the exact details later. Some people do really good with orcs. I don't. It's sad. I actually really like orcs. I really like the zero upkeep shaman and bowman. I really do. Like the low upkeep cost is great. Basically, they don't ever need skeletons. They can just produce a crap ton of shaman, and then those can actually do a little bit to defend their cities, purify corrupted tiles and stuff. It's nice. But the problem is, I don't do well as orcs. Uh, their units aren't that great early game. They don't have any particular advantage in building things. Like the high men, they build buildings quicker than anyone else. The nomads, they've got archery on all their early game units, and they've got those really good horse bowmen. But the elves, they've got longbowmen, and longbowmen go a long way. But the orcs, everything is just kind of vanilla. Just regular cavalry, regular swordsmen, nothing special about any of their units, and it's just kind of, you know. So as much as I love the discount on maintenance, and I really do love that, I seem to do the worst with orcs. And I'm not entirely sure how other people do well with them because, well, I mean, everybody else has something going for them. I don't know. Ah, let's see what we got. So, aggro, builder, builder, builder. Oh, really? Okay, interesting. Okay, builder, builder, builder. 3-1 so far. Really? I'll admit, mono blue aggro would have been my pick. I'm not gonna vote because I don't think I'm running the thing. I don't know, but that would have been my guess right there. Clock-ons with nothing but sorcery books to work with. Yeah, I mean it's always possible that I could come back and try another one later, but I'm more inclined to do one where I do the biggest world size. I know I keep mentioning it, but I think that one won't be as difficult for people to pick. I think that one won't be as difficult for people to pick out the worst build on because the maximal makes the world really enormous. And when you get to an extreme, like the normal size is basically what the game's built around being normal. And when you get to the extremes, like obviously if there was one opponent on the smallest world size, aggro's obviously going to be dominant then. And a builder strategy would obviously be a bad pick at that point. And, it should be the other way around on the biggest world possible. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, sorcery has really great end game, but follow the logic. So I think we've pretty well decided that this isn't going to be the build, but follow the logic for a minute. Mono blue aggro literally gives you the worst early game possible, especially if they dump you on the Mirren plane. It is going to be as difficult as possible for you to gain any territory or do anything in the early game. While all of the other wizards are expanding, you're also, I mean, if you're playing an aggro, you're going to have really bad spell research. They tend not to be able to build a lot of research buildings. So your research is going to be really bad. The other wizards are going to get their end game spells before you get yours, assuming you ever get yours and you don't just get picked off in the early game. Now, the actual things I can say for Mono Blue is you are going to get Aura of Majesty. That is actually potentially a really big deal because it makes it less likely that you're just going to be knocked out if you can get that in play. It's less likely that a wizard is just going to gank you. But yeah, the idea behind mono blue aggro is just the slowest, worst start possible. Yeah. I mean, honestly, your end game isn't gonna be great, even because it comes late. Time stop is so freaking good, but time stop demands a massive amount of mana crystals that again the Clackons don't provide good magic base. They're literally the worst faction. Clackons are probably the worst faction to go mono blue. I'm certain of it. Like anybody else would be better at it. All right, so this is interesting. So we actually ended up with few spell books We actually ended up with Few Spellbooks Builder. I'll be curious to see how this shapes out for the fine tuning. I'll be very curious to see how this shapes out. There were people arguing for high men builds being bad, which I thought was interesting because I consider the high men to be almost on a tier with the halflings. They're really, really good, but it is late game that their strengths come into play. But the faster building means that they get to it faster. So I don't know. There's some arguments that could be made for nomads. I think that the elves have a decent argument with the right picks. They could be pretty bad, but I think it's going to be orcs. I honestly do. I think orcs are going to win this one. It's funny because if it weren't for the longbowmen, I would probably say elves had a good chance. But that one single unit just gives them exactly what they need in the early game to survive. That one thing by itself. Because you kind of would expect, well, elves. Elves are known for archery. Of course, elves will have a whole bunch of. No, they don't have a bunch of great archers. They have one unit until they get to like Pegasi at the very end. But it's like that one unit, though, it matters. It really matters. I have more right to vote than most. And there will be more Lords of the Realm too tomorrow. I'm looking forward to conquering Ireland. If it's to be Builder, so be it. We have work to do. Knoll aggro. Yeah, I honestly, I Knolls have it hard. Knolls have it rough. It would be interesting just to compare and argue between Clacon and Knoll. Knolls do not get the production bonus, meaning that their units are more precious than the Clacons. If it wasn't for conquest, if every city you touched burned, I would say Knolls are worse than Clacons. But the unrest penalty, you're going to conquer cities. And the Clacons, nobody likes being ruled by bug people. And I think that's the clincher between the two. I think that is the clincher between the two. You're always going to end up ruling a whole bunch of other cities. So, but yeah, no, if you converted, like, if every time you conquer a city you converted it to your race, then Knolls would probably be the worst. Most of your early game devs have been high elves. Really? Interesting. They have some serious disadvantages. They're missing some good buildings, but early on the problem is that slow population growth. That slow population growth hurts more than most people realize. It 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 basically makes you the slowest of all the options in the game. Well, for Arcanus anyway. Yeah, Knolls don't have, well, the Jackal Rider is, if you have Flame Blade, you can make a Jackal Rider work. And I do like the Wolf Riders. They're okay, but yeah, no, Knolls, yeah. Yeah, they would be the worst if it wasn't for the unrest thing. I think so. Um I don't see any way Lizardmen would ever get picked as the worst aggro, but I'm super fond of them, so, I might be blinded by that. And barbarians, honestly, I don't know where to put barbarians. I really don't. They have to fall under aggro, right? I think. And yet, they can build wizards towers now. And they have decent late game units. Uh, but they're not really a builder. They're they're weird. I put them under aggro, but you know, I don't know what to make of them. I don't know what to make of them. But whatever. It's gonna be few spellbooks builders, so we'll figure it out from there. No, 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 no. Those are only in those are mods. Those are from the mods. The modders created the antlions and the maidens, which are great. Like the mods do all kinds of wonderful things to all of the different stuff. We don't have mods. Not for this challenge. No, actually, the maiden is really good. If I'm playing Warlord, I'm super happy to get a clack on because then I can get the holy bonus. Either that or high men. Either way, I'm happy if I can get a holy bonus in all my cities with all my armies. Yeah, we're doing vanilla. So options were a little more limited. Yeah. Anyway, I will post the result in Discord and on Realms Beyond, and you guys can post comments under here, whatever, for fine-tuning this thing. We gotta pick exactly which race, we gotta pick exactly which spell books, and which retorts, and which spells. And I don't know, I may do something again like this before we launch. I'm not sure. When I we'll see. We'll see what happens. Barbarians have a really hard time if your enemy knows possession. Oh, I've been on the receiving end of that a few times. Petrification effects. The freaking chickens of doom that sneeze petrification when somebody's got blue-green. Ugh. Yeah, no, barbarians definitely have problems. Huge problems. But the barbarians have one advantage that doesn't show up anywhere on their stat sheet. There's one thing about barbarians that's weird, and that is nobody likes to pick a fight with the barbarians. So you get to choose your wars. Sorta, chaotic wizards will just attack you at random if people. But the reasoning behind this is barbarian armies show up on the graphs being larger than they really are. Just the way the game calculates the numbers, berserkers count as bigger than they should. And so, you see this all the time with the AI. If they've got barbarians, their army will look really big, and you'll be like, these guys aren't that strong. It's because they have a shit ton of berserkers. So, this is a weird advantage the barbarians possess if you go berserker rather than gladiator, and I usually do. So even though berserkers have serious drawbacks, they do have that going for them. And confusion, yeah. Confusion isn't so bad. Possession is way worse than confusion. Possession will ruin your day. You can't even... See, I like to mix and have mixed defenses in my cities. I stopped putting barbarians in the mix a long time ago. If I conquer a barbarian city, barbarians only get to hang out with other barbarians. If I put a berserker in the middle of my defenses, the enemy will possess that thing and kill all of my magicians and archers with it on the first turn. I've experienced it too many times. I know that what will happen. So berserkers, they're not welcome in any of my other cities. It's funny, because I'm used to berserkers, like D&D berserkers, having giant bonuses to their willpower when they're raging. It's really hard to control a barbarian that's raging with your mind magic. But in Master Magic, I guess it's just a vulnerability. I guess it makes you easier to control. Anyway, I'm gonna go make myself a bacon barbecue burger with cheddar cheese and maybe a little sausage. I am very hungry. So, until next time and every time, this is Hadriex signing off. Yeah, chaos channeled barbarians. Oh man, yeah. I should do that sometime. Warlords actually added another spell in that vein. Maybe red-green barbarians? No, red-white. I'm kind of leaning towards red-green. Anyway, not right now, though. Right now, we're coming up with the worst wizard. There's so many cool builds. Man, Master Magic is such a freaking good game.